Okay, now we're making.
Oh, look at that! An additional total gross of $1,764,000 just by figuring out a way to turn your inventory more quickly.
Okay, Pops, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, as long as we're talking about vAuto, I can see your screen.
We are about to be talking about vAuto. Before we hop in, though, I want to preface this with we are, I don't know, like 90-ish videos away from my dad and I having raised the money, not to go to your auto advocate, but to go to his sliding doors. We're continuing that promotion because we recently did a video about bad promotions, so why not have one of our own? FindTheBestCarPrice.com/insider, link down below, aggregating, finding the incentives, all the different deals for the month of October. Check them out. FindTheBestCarPrice.com/insider. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, the team over there.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Zach, for being concerned about all the air infiltration that makes my condo so damn chilly. Well, actually cold in the winter.
I'm not there with you in in the physical sense, but I'm there with you in spirit, Pops.
And I appreciate that. I've lived through the physical sense.
So what we're talking about today, Dad, title of today's video is we're going to shed some light on the tools that dealers use and how they kind of stack the odds against you as a car buyer when you walk into the dealership. And you have a saying that I really like, which is, as a dealer, you were selling, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, hopefully more cars each day. So each year you were selling hundreds, if not thousands of cars. Mm-hmm. The car buyer that was coming in was buying a car every 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So already, just from an expertise standpoint, you have an advantage. But we want to dive into some of the tools and then show you what we've been working on and building to try and level that playing field for you. That sound about right, Dad?
Well, that sounds like what you described to me earlier. So I would say, yes, that sounds about right.
Thank you, Pop. So let's jump in. You can see my screen, Dad. Let's walk through what vAuto is. We'll focus in on that tool because it ties really nicely in with our market price report, which we're just doing beta testing of now. We're a couple weeks away from release. So, Dad, talk to us, explain to us what vAuto is, and I'll scroll down the page and we can talk about what we see and the comparables back with your Auto Advocate market price report.
vAuto is the preeminent used car tool that a high percentage of dealerships use today. It's a used car tool in the sense that it helps you appraise a vehicle. They have access to Kelley Blue Book, NADA, Black Book, all that information, Manheim Market Report, so that when you plug in a VIN, you can get much more accurate information as to what these vehicles are doing at the auction, so you have a much better understanding of where you need to be. And that is just like the tip of the iceberg for what vAuto does, because from that point forward, once you've traded a car, vAuto allows you access through their technology as to what the market is on those cars based on what other dealers in your area, and you can decide on how large of an area. Do you want to be 50-mile radius of your store, 100-mile radius, 200-mile radius of your store, to see what others are selling similar used cars for. In the old days, when there were newspapers and there was a classified section in a newspaper, and that's where people got their information, the only way you could check to see what the market was as another dealer was to see, what the pricing is that other dealers are listing similar cars for in the newspaper. Well, that's kind of changed with their market competitive sets and their market reports as to where everybody has their car listed, what equipment the car has, how many days it's been sitting on their lot, things of that nature, what the equipment levels are. So they were the first ones to really come up using technology to give dealers a better understanding of where they needed to be market price-wise in order to attract a customer's attention. And they developed what they called velocity selling, where it makes more sense to sell a car more quickly than to sit on it longer to get a higher price.
They actually have that, one of my favorite things, like their turn calculator, which I'll actually click on so we can show people. I mean, this is if you're a dealer and you're thinking about buying vAuto, I mean, this is like what you do to like sell yourself on why you need vAuto, and it hits on what you just said, like selling vehicles more quickly helps you make more money. Like if we put in your front end gross profit per unit of $800, your F&I gross profit per unit, let's say it's $1,200, even though that's, let's make it more realistic, $1,600. And then let's say the doc fee, drum roll please, what do you, $400.
Yeah.
How many units do we have in stock? What do you think?
75. It's probably high in today's world, but that's okay. And let's say we normally sell about 40.
So in this case, your turn is 6.4. So add 2 to your current turn to see what the difference would be, 8.4. So now we're moving 53 per month and 630, and the inventory age is even less, and see how it affects my profits. Okay, now we're making.
Oh, look at that! An additional total gross of $1,764,000 just by figuring out a way to turn your inventory more quickly.
And so that's like vAuto enables a dealer. Not only is it an unlevel playing field when you walk in as a consumer, but it's just a profit maximizing software, and obviously that's how they sell it. And so then what we did back at your Auto Advocate, Dad, is like everything you just described. Like, let's actually find a vehicle. Like, Dad, name a car and I'll find one, and we can pop it in here and show people what we just described that vAuto does.
An Acura RDX.
Okay, let's find one for sale near me. We'll use Car Gurus. I always end up on Car Gurus. Let's see. How about a 2019? I think.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that's the new body style.
Yeah, they got that interesting grille. Okay, let me grab the VIN. Come back to my dashboard. Let's view the report. Okay, so what you were just describing on that vAuto does, we can now take a look here and see what the market price report does. So we have the price history, which is going to go all the way back, in this case, when it was sold new. So you can even see that. It was listed originally new for almost $49,000. We saw the price spike up very recently. That's interesting. They had the price advertised at all the way up at $40,000. And then brought it back down to reality. But the more important stuff would be the days on lot. Like, this vehicle's been on their lot for 100 days. Market average is 98. I think this one's actually being skewed a little bit. This is still in development, but there's only 2 other similar vehicles in the area. But that's like the type of insight that the dealer obviously has, and that's why they're pricing it the way that they're pricing it.
Well, that's the insight that the dealer has because they're using vAuto. This is the insight that the customer has using your Auto Advocate. Now, what does that do? That gives the customer basically the same information that the dealer gets from vAuto. So that the customer can tailor their offer to what the real market conditions are.
That's where things start to become compelling as a car buyer, is this idea that if I know what the market is in my area and the dealer knows what the market is in their area, now we're on a bit more of a level playing field. And so that's the idea here, is like the information that the dealer has. vAuto is one piece of a much larger technology puzzle. We did a video one time, Dad, about Cox Enterprises and Cox Automotive, and like they own every part of automotive tech. And then as a car buyer, you have like Car Gurus, and now at least you have your Auto Advocate coming out soon, but like it's still tough to be on a level playing field.
Well, it is, but we're doing what we can to try and level that playing field. We're doing what we can to help educate the consumer in how you go about actually negotiating a car deal. So, we're not the biggest. I'd like to believe we're the best, but we're not the biggest yet. But, what drives us is that we're consumer-centric. We're really consumer advocacy. We want people to have the knowledge so that they can make better choices and better decisions. Because, as I like to say, knowledge is power. So the more knowledge we can share with the customers, the more power they end up with. And go ahead. I could see you wanted to say something.
I just wanted to chime in. Like, if you want us to break down other dealer industry tools, tell us in the comments below. We'll go to their marketing websites. We'll show you. You can talk that about your experience using them. I mean, we're more than happy to. The more insight you have, the more knowledge you have, the more power you have. And that's the name of the game here. Also, just hit up one of my friends who's a designer to help us make some merch. Knowledge is power. It's coming soon.
Oh, I can't wait. Can I get a hoodie?
I'll get you a hoodie.
Thank you, Zach. Well, I take it we beat this subject to death.
For now, I think we're good to go. But yeah, knowledge is power. That's how the dealers or sellers in general can try and, put the odds against you, but you don't have to let that be. There are tools, there are people out there that want to be your advocate and want to help. And go to Deal School, check out the market price report. We're here to help.
Yep. I remember reading an email from one of our viewers just recently that got a really great deal on a Hyundai Tucson and attributed to what he was able to pick up from our videos and from Deal School. And, these
feels good,
concepts. What?
I said it feels good, doesn't it?
Oh, it feels great because these aren't just concepts. They actually work. So utilize the information that we're providing for you so that you can make a better buying decision moving forward. And with that, I'm done, buddy. I'm done.
Love you, Pops.
Love you too, handsome. Talk to you later.